What's up? What's up? What's up, people? Y'all, it is Thursday. It is Thursday, October the 20th, 2022, y'all. And it is time for today's headlines right here on News in Motion. I'm so excited about today because a couple of things are going on. We have Lexi coming in. Y'all, this is Isaiah's 20th birthday. That's happening also. In a few moments, I'm going to ask y'all to send him some love. I see you, Lori Wallace. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see you, Felicia Williams. Latrice Jones. What's happening? You like my earrings, Latrice? You like my earrings? I got these from Latrice Jones, y'all, consultant of paparazzi. I see you, Kim Miller Edmondson. I see you, Carolyn Maxwell, coming in from YouTube. Yes, Latrice, happy birthday to my firstborn son, Isaiah Jones. Latrice is all excited. No, Latrice, that means we're getting older. We can't be that excited. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see all of you. I am so excited about today. Y'all know Thursdays, we kind of like lay back a little bit. We still put news out here, and I do have some news I want to share with you today. In case anybody's wondering, before I get there, sorry, rewind back up to the audio listeners. I want to talk about the audio listeners that are Georgia Bulldogs. They gather together in a common area, like right about 7:20. They hook up one computer. They said there's about 20, sometimes 30 people gathering to see what I bring to you. I want to give y'all a shout out. I don't have all y'all's names, so I won't say that, but I really do appreciate you all sending the email. So I'll call some names. John, Kiana, Quintana, I think I said that correctly. Roy, Richard. I just have Featherstone, so I don't know what that is, but Featherstone. So I don't know if that's your first name or your last name. Lisa, Kelly. Let me go through the names. Y'all know the ones I'm skipping. I know I don't know how to say them, but that's all right. I'm gonna figure them out because I'm gonna shout you out later. But there's several of you all, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for writing in, and thank you for letting us know. Once again, that says that the numbers are skewed somewhat. If there's 20 and 30 watching from one device, I just want to say thank you for writing. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. So thank you. I see you, Davey. I see you, Shirley. I see you, Donita. Misha, what's up? Shardinia, Kenny, Stanley, Rosanna. Hey, what's up to all of you? Hey, did I do okay with the hair? First time I had to wash it and do it myself. It's not as fluffy, so I think maybe I got to back off of the products a little bit, but I did my best, and I think it turned out pretty good if you ask me. You know, the first day is never the way you really want it. It's the second day after you've slept on it and all that stuff. So, look, I feel good about what I've done to my hair. I see you, Fred Jones. All right, y'all, in case anyone is wondering, John Fetterman's recovery is recovering well, and this is coming straight from his doctor. They're saying that he's recovering very well from his stroke. They're really trying to shut down Dr. Oz. I can't understand how a real doctor is talking about somebody who had a stroke. That's really like puzzling to me. It is so puzzling to me. So John Fetterman is a Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania's state Senate running against Republican Dr. Oz. He is covering well from his stroke that he had in May. And he is healthy enough for full-time work in the Senate, his primary care physician has said. The new medical report comes after pressure on Fetterman to do more, settle lingering doubts about his physical and cognitive health for public office. That's coming straight out of HuffPost. So, hey, keep doing what you're doing, John Fetterman. Here's the truth, John. You're just getting under Dr. Oz's skin. You're just getting under his skin. For real, you're just getting under his skin. Hey, I have something special I want to do right about now. So everybody get ready to give a shout out to this right here. Now I can't find it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. I'm getting to it. Happy birthday, Isaiah! Happy you.
I want to know where you got that picture from.
Hey, that's none of your business right there. We do what we do. What's up, Lexi?
Hi.
Isaiah, happy birthday to you. I hear you're 20 years old today.
That is correct. 2 decades of life. I'm truly
2 decades of life. He's acting like an old man.
But I'm truly blessed. I've been highly favored by the Lord God, and I've been surrounded by wonderful family, wonderful friends, outstanding community, outstanding village. To all the aunties, uncles, extended families, I'm truly grateful for y'all. I love y'all so much. Everyone here on NewsInMotion. Just thank you for being so supportive of me in my journey towards videography. To Miss Gail Dudley for giving me the platform to not only hone my craft, but also expand on my own. Because of you, I've had so many opportunities to myself. And for that, I'm just all around grateful. I'm 20 years old, y'all. It doesn't seem that long that I was just a hyper kid running around. So I'm truly grateful. I'm truly blessed.
Well, I'm just so glad. Happy birthday to you. I love supporting and launching new people and letting people know who's out here. I just love that when you have been contracted to do things, people call back to me and say, he's got to be older than at that time 19. There's no way. He's so professional. He's so mature. He has wisdom. He comes all in. So, hey, you're doing it on your own. I just put you out there and you're carrying your own. But happy birthday to you. Lexi, you got anything to say to Isaiah?
Yeah, hey, dude. Happy birthday. 20th birthday to my older brother, ride or die, ready to go. You already know what it is, but I'm just so happy for you. 20 years old. Like, it's crazy. Your maturity is on like a whole nother level. And I was so super grateful to be able to do Youth Takeover with you. It was a blast, and I hope we can do it again soon sometime. But I'm honored to be working with the two of you. It's a great time. But happy birthday, dude.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Y'all, his Cash App is there. I'm serious, y'all. Let's show him some love today. Isaiah, it's $, Isaiah Jones 1916. Again, the $, Isaiah Jones 1916. Isaiah, if you don't mind, put that in the chat also so people can have it. So once again, y'all, Isaiah, the $, Isaiah Jones 1916. All right, y'all, we're going to get back to the news, but I just wanted to bring the birthday boy in here. Davia said, Isaiah, you have aunties you don't even know. Uh-oh, everybody claiming you. Yeah, look, that's what I'm talking about. Davia's a great person, y'all. She's a great person.
I'm here for it all.
You have people saying happy birthday. You have people saying we love you. Happy 20th. There's your sister in here too.
Look, if she thinks she's not ready for me, just wait till Isaac, man. Isaac's turning 18, so
yeah,
that's gonna be something.
He is. Your daddy's up in here too. I thought I had him up here too. There you go. So y'all, there it is. He says, I've been sending you Cash Apps your whole life.
He ain't lying.
Leave it up to Pops. Leave it up to Pops. Good morning, Stephanie Burbridge Hall. All right, y'all. Isaiah, again, happy birthday, but don't go anywhere. Who knows what else may come up in here. So
thank you again, everyone. I truly appreciate y'all.
You are welcome. See y'all in a minute. All right, we want to keep going. I'm going to bring Lexi in here in a few moments, but y'all, let's talk about the angry Black woman. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this on Tuesday when I break down the Democrat side of things like I did with the Republican side of things. Y'all, Stacey Abrams, in one of the heated exchange during their debate with Brian Kemp and I don't even know the other guy's name. But anyway, Abraham accused Kemp of ignoring the struggles of Black and brown people who have faced police discrimination, saying that while you may not have had that experience, too many people I know have. And that's the heel that brought that out. Immediately, social media, news sources, media outlets, everything started labeling her the angry Black woman. Then we turn to Val Demings, who's doing an amazing job in Florida against Marco Rubio. NPR comes out with the following. Democratic U.S. Representative Val Demings of Florida went on the attack Tuesday in her first debate against Republican Senator Marco Rubio, accusing him of being a serial liar, while Rubio criticized her for supporting President Joe Biden's economic agenda. Now, y'all, Rubio is a two-term senator, and Val Demings is a three-term congresswoman and former Orlando police chief. Faced questions in the debate in Lake Worth on topics including inflation, abortion, voting rights, gun violence, immigration, and foreign policy. Immediately, the moment she called him a serial liar, which he is, I mean, if you just put his words against other words side by side in video, he lies every time he opens his mouth. He lies, except saying his name is Marco Rubio. But maybe we find out that's not his name either. I don't know. But anyway, immediately people called her the angry black woman. My question today is, will this ever end? Will this ever end? And I would love to dig deeper into this. Here's two educated, powerful women who are running for office. They're standing on their own platform, doing their own, and yet because they say something, they become the angry black woman. Let's go back to our former First Lady, forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. They labeled her the angry black woman. If you look at it, they talk about Joyce Beatty. They label her the angry black woman. So every time that black woman who stands up for themselves and for others becomes labeled as the angry black woman. I'm going to bring Lexi in, y'all. Lexi is from Hamilton Township High School. She is coming on. Y'all remember now, her teachers could be viewing this. Schools can be viewing this. So she's coming on Thursdays to give us a report. She's going to give us a report today on, I believe, hunger. But I want her to also come in right now so we can just talk about this as a teenage black young lady, if she faces some of this. So come on in here, Lexi. Let's have a quick conversation. Good morning to you again. So when you hear those two things, and I know you're getting graded for this and everything else, y'all, so make sure y'all put chats in here. Go ahead and throw up the thumbs and the hearts so that we can get other people to see the work that this young lady is doing. So before we get to the hunger that you are doing a full report on, what about this? Do you face any of this in high school when it comes to if you get upset or you push back or you don't take what's coming at you? Do you ever get labeled or do you ever walk away feeling labeled as the angry black girl?
I feel like it happens. That's a great question, but it happens, not a lot, but it may be because it's not called out as much as it should be. Do these feelings happen for me? Yes. Do I get to express them? Not necessarily, because I attend a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, because they're never going to understand the way I feel because of the experience they had and the experience I had growing up are completely separate. They're completely different. And of course, my school was in the known country or whatever you want to call it. But I experienced these things a lot. I wouldn't say on a day-to-day basis, but I feel like I can't truly express how I feel because I'll be labeled. So sometimes I push away or shut down, which I'm really glad why our Student Inclusion Council is trying to come up with ways that we can make sure everyone feels included and everyone won't be shut out.
Wow. I'm going to go back and grab something you said there, that there's times you don't express yourself or you don't say anything because of being labeled the angry black girl. And my question, I know you're young here, but I know you're wise at your age as well. Have you and any group of other young ladies or people who, black and brown people, have you all ever come together to determine how you can address some of these things? Or have you gone to your principal or vice principal or counselor to say, hey, these things are happening for my health. I want to be able to express myself. And if there are some ways to do that?
So that's a good question. And friends and term wise, I think there are so many people, at least in my school, that they don't really have the courage or the bravery to be ready to step out and say, hey, this makes us feel uncomfortable. Let's change it and let's do something about it. But it's also because of past experiences in our schools that we get shut down for things that haven't even been talked about. Like, it's just, there's no discussion. That's just it. It's like teaching old dog new tricks. You can't make an old dog get new tricks. And so I talked to my black teacher here, the only one, but I talked to her about it. She's really helpful with how I get through my day-to-day basis. But That's about all I can do right now. But in the future, there will be board meetings talked about, at least this year
That's
for
good.
me. Speaking at board meetings, trying to get some change, try to get something happen through our student body and council and student inclusion and all the other things that I try to do to make sure that our voices are heard as a Black community.
I love that. I love your civic engagement. I love your advocacy. And I love when you said in board meetings, me, like I'm going to be the one speaking. I love that about you. Misha Hemfield said, our passion should not be misconstrued as anger. And I so agree with that, because even on Twitter yesterday, I was going through some of the feed with this thing with Stacey Abrams and Val Demings. And I wrote back, I said, I am angry. I said, I am angry that we do not have voting rights. I am angry that the former guy isn't in prison yet. I am angry that there's voter suppression. So I list a whole lot there. Like, I am angry. So let's put anger where it is, and let's not make it necessarily a negative. It's a point of, listen to me. These things have been happening over and over and over again, and we're angry. So being able to express ourselves, as Misha was saying, and not be misconstrued, I think that is key. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you as you share on your article today, your reporting today, and we're just excited to hear you. And y'all, she's also going to give us some of the national holidays as well. So take it away.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Today, I'm going to be talking about hunger in America right now. This story comes from NPR and Food in America right now. There were more than 1.2 million people who struggled last year to put food on their table. According to the article, The Hidden Faces of Hunger in America by Olivia Hampton, who works for NPR, that's a third of the population living and around the capital of one of the richest nations on earth. According to the USDA, more than 34 million people nationwide, with 9 million of those people being children, suffer from hunger. One family in specific, who Olivia talked to for NPR, ended up having to ration diapers for their child because they were struggling with so much hunger and low income. Heather Thomas told NPR News, "Food was really, really, really tight. My husband's health, because of his conditions, there were times we just couldn't eat right. And one of his health conditions ended up getting a lot worse. So we were rationing diapers. It was really bad." Now, if we get into the nitty gritty of it, as most can assume, the pandemic greatly increased the number of people who went hungry, including those who were already struggling before the pandemic. According to feedingamerica.com, the hunger in the African American, Latino, and Native American communities is higher because of the systemic racial injustice. To achieve a hunger-free America, we must address the root cause of hunger and structural and systemic inequities. In 2021 alone, 20% of Black people experienced hunger in America. So I choose to say hunger instead of food insecurity, because we need to call it and see it like it is. Hunger isn't talked about enough in America. Hunger is real, and instead of sitting here watching it happen, we have to go do something about it. So I've come up with a couple great sources for all of us to be able to reach out in their community. There's volunteering, donating to Feeding America Food Bank. There's also the nonprofit No Kid Hungry, donations to nonprofit organizations, taking the time to research how you could help those who go hungry in your community. But just don't sit and do nothing. We've got a lot of work to do. And since that's my story, on to our national days. Today is Get to Know Your Customer Day, Chicken and Waffles Day. Hallelujah. I feel it in my shadada. Your Youth Confidence, and Get Smart About Credit National Day. That's it for me.
Thank you so much. I love that, especially since we're going into Thanksgiving, the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatnot. We need to pay attention to that. And I love that you're saying, call it what it is. They're hungry. People are hungry. We've shared here before, the students who may not comprehend well at school is because they're hungry. Maybe the root cause is their hunger, not that they have a learning disability. And I appreciate you giving us some suggestions of what we could share. So send those suggestions to me as well, and I'll put them up on the thread, or if you want to put them in there, that's great. And did you say National Chicken and Waffle Day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I have to
Wow,
go get.
that sounds good. That sounds real good. Before you go, I want to go back and pick up on some of what people were talking about when it comes to anger as well. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I love what I'll say this way to you, what Miss Davia said when she was saying that until they're no longer threatened by the truth of our experience or power of our presence, this will continue. And then she's talking about the majority. And I think there's a lot to do with that. And there's a real threat. People are threatened by us before they even get to know us. And then Mary Jenkins saying, and being angry and being an angry person are two different things. Dr. Antoinette says they can't refute the facts. So they attack the messenger. So that's out there. So just, I love that we can continue this conversation. I know you're only with us on Thursdays, but Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the Democratic side. This past Tuesday, I talked about the Republican side, their commitment to America. So I want to talk about from the Democrat side. And then the following Tuesday, I'm going to talk about from the no label independent Green Party side as well. But there's a lot to unpack here. I think we still face these things every day. So thank you for sharing your piece with us when it comes to schools. And thank you for sharing about hunger. I know you got to get ready to go to class. That bell's getting ready to ring. So I don't know how long you can stay with us. But again, we want to do, we together, we want to shout out Isaiah once again and tell him happy birthday. So in your own words, Lexi, I know you had another piece you wanted to share with him. Just speak from your heart on his birthday today.
Oh gosh. So me and Isaiah have known each other for a very, very, very long time. I can't even put years on it. We've we've known each other through New Salem, through my church, and he's just always been there, so supportive, so kind, and so sweet. Youth Takeover really connected our bond together as me and like a older brother, little sister type situation. So I'm really grateful to God that I have him in my life because he's so supportive and just such a great person overall. And I can't wait to see him grow and thrive throughout his life, especially on that 21st birthday when he'll be fully grown. But yeah, I'm so excited and happy for him and grateful to God that I have him in my life.
Yep. And so Isaiah, on behalf of NewsInMotion, but from Lexi Williams, for your birthday, with her name on it, she is giving you $25 gas card. So happy birthday to you for that as well. If y'all can see this dude in the green room, he is hilarious. All right, Lexi, thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Great to see you all.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Trump is deposed. Say, can somebody say what? In defamation suit filed by E. Jean Carroll, former President Donald Trump, the former guy, answered questions under oath in a lawsuit filed by E. Jean Carroll, a magazine columnist who says Trump raped her in the mid-1990s in a department store dressing room. Now, the details from the testimony were not disclosed, and that's from Huffington Post. Y'all, Mike Pence. Now, this shouldn't even be a question, but Mike Pence on yesterday suggested that he would vote for somebody else over the former guy in 2024. Do you think you should? Hello? They came to kill you. Like, come on. During the January 6th insurrection. He goes on to say former Vice President Mike Pence wouldn't say if he would vote for Trump. He hemmed and hawed, and then he made a suggestion that he probably would vote for someone else within the Republican Party. And then his direct quote is, well, there might be somebody else I prefer more. Really? Hopefully you're going to stick with that. Now, he has declined to reveal whether he's running, so maybe he'll be voting for himself. Yes, y'all, all of y'all are saying great job, Lexi. Thank y'all for saying that. I appreciate that. Now, y'all, she was the Queen's pick. Now, the King isn't having it. As y'all know, Liz Truss became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I think it was 2 days before Queen Elizabeth passed. So now she is facing a true battle. They want her gone. Even there's a video when the Prime Minister met with King Charles, and you could tell he didn't like her at all, not at all. And she was extremely uncomfortable. So she's trying to hold on to power, but they're already calling for her to be gone. She was appointed just 6 weeks ago, and she is fighting. She's saying that she's not going to just quit, but they're letting her know you won't be here much longer. So that is happening. And y'all, what a donation. CNN is reporting, this is a serious donation. Mackenzie, my name is Gail Dudley, just in case you want to know me. The Girl Scout of America received its largest ever donation from a single individual, a gift of $84.5 million from Mackenzie Scott. As y'all know, she is the ex-wife of the Amazon founder, Jeff Bezos, the group said in a release. Y'all, the donation will be awarded to 29 local councils selected by Mackenzie Scott, along with the national chapter. Now, Mackenzie has given $3.8 billion, that's with a B, to 465 organizations since June. Y'all. June. Mackenzie became one of the wealthiest women in the world after her 2019 divorce from Bezos. And last year, Scott announced donations of $2.7 billion to nearly 300 organizations, following a donation of $1.7 billion and then $4 billion to various causes in 2020. One of the largest was $436 million, which was a gift to Habitat for Humanity International and its affiliates, to be used to promote home ownership in Black and minority communities. She's doing the thing. What's up, Virgie? Virgie, y'all, is in Virginia. Yeah, y'all, that's what's happening. So she has been really putting it out there. So since mid-2020, she has donated $12.8 billion to more than 1,200 organizations, and that's being reported by Forbes. Now, the grants to the Girl Scouts will be used in part to create more equitable membership opportunities in communities that have been under-engaged and foster meaningful programs, innovation informed by the current interests and needs of girls to prepare them for leadership, including, yes, the air changes, forgive me, including an expanded focus on career readiness and mental health, the release said. I used to be a Girl Scout. I had all my badges on my sash, and I was a leader and all that stuff. Y'all know I was, right? I'm always been in this community service, civic engagement thing. So when I read that, I was real excited. So I started digging. That's what I do. I started digging. And this isn't a negative, but I want to share this. I believe that we need to engage our girls back into Girl Scouts. I was in a troop that was all Black, and there was like 30 of us, and we had a blast with camping and everything. And I think we're missing opportunities to do things like this today. So I want to encourage you all to participate and get your nieces and cousins and your cousins and so forth to be a part of it as well. Yeah, it's really good, and we need to be leaders. We need to be leaders, and we can be leaders of Girl Scout if you were once a Girl Scout. And so now I don't have time for this, but I was thinking, wow, how can we do this and how can we participate? Y'all, she's putting the money out there and she wants to see the engagement. So again, I believe there's so much money on the table. We as a community, for some reason, we won't go after it. And I'm praying that there's a turnaround when it comes to that. And I think it needs to be. One thing that we're going to start introducing here, this was our part of our forecast when we came back in September, is we're going to share media and publishing announcements. So if you are a writer, you want to write this down. Penguin Random House, the U.S. Creative Writing Awards, in partnership with We Need Diverse Books, y'all, this is huge, has begun accepting applications for the U.S. Creative Writing Awards, which give up to $10,000 in scholarship money to rising high school seniors nationwide. Hello, somebody. This year's categories are memoir, fiction, drama, poetry, and spoken word. Y'all, the deadline is February the 1st, 2023, or when 1,000 applications have been received. So let me read this to you. This is for immediate release from Random House. So let me read this to you. And if anybody wants a copy of this, I'll give you the link I'll put the link in the chat, and I won't read the whole thing. This is they're honored to announce the Michelle Obama Award for Memoir, a new creative writing award, to commemorate the forthcoming publication of her book, The Light We Carry. So this was released on October the 12th. Y'all know I do publishing, so I get all these things. So I thought, why not share them to our base? So I'm going to start sharing them. But it's up to you to write it down and find out what's happening and carry it on. So y'all, it basically says here, Penguin Random House, the world's largest trade book publisher, today announces the Michelle Obama Award for Memoir, the annual Creative Writing Award, named to honor Mrs. Obama within the Signature Creative Writing Award, that's CWA, program. The Michelle Obama Award for Memoir will recognize one high school senior who attends public school with a college scholarship of $10,000 for their original literary composition in English and the category of memoir personal essay. Now, y'all, this is the memoir piece, but if you go to the link that we'll put up here later on, if you go to that link, you'll see the other categories as well. Don't sleep on this. Here's a quote from Mrs. Obama. She says, "I know firsthand how nerve-wracking it can be to share the most intimate stories from your life with the world." So, y'all, this is happening. And then they have others that are coming out as well, but you'll have to go to the link to look those up, y'all. It's an opportunity, and I suggest that we not sleep on it. Again, we can think of something like this. Can you imagine if you were leading a Girl Scout group in the community and you had writers within that group and they went for this and you helped them along the way? One thing that Ready Publication used to do, we used to have a summer writing summit for high school girls. And one young lady got into, I think I shared this with y'all before, one young lady got into Harvard University because of the article that we published in the magazine. And when they sent her congratulations letter, that was written in that letter. So y'all, there's an opportunity out here. So we have to keep massaging this. And yes, I have publishing things for young men as well. Don't sleep on it. All right, y'all, my inspirational message. My inspirational message today is called Advocate. Advocate. The inspirational message is Advocate. Yesterday, I was with my dad. We went from Thursday to Wednesday, taking him to the grocery store. And I decided to take him to a different Kroger. He loves Kroger. So I decided to take him to a different one. So as we were driving around, he was remembering different things about the community. And he started telling me about his dad, my grandfather, who has passed away many years ago, and was saying that, you know, your grandpa used to wash walls in this neighborhood. And we were in the area called Upper Arlington in Central Ohio. And so he started reminiscing about all of this. And he said, you know, I used to go along with him. And he said, one day your grandpa gave me a jar. And he was like, what, Dad? I can't, if I have to go to the restroom, I can't just go. I have to use this jar. And he says, no, you can go to the restroom. It's no problem. This jar is for something else. And I said, what was the jar for? And he says, well, as we were washing the baseboards of the wall, back then you can pull the carpet away from the wall so you can clean in the crevice of the wall. He said, and when you pulled that carpet back, he said, we will find money along the way that they had planted there. And he said, and they had planted there thinking that we were going to keep it, which they would then say we were stealing from them. So we would all have jars. We would fill the jars up and we would put the jars on the desk in each department or area. And so we sat there and I was like, say what? And he said, oh, yeah, Gail. He said there were traps all along because your grandpa bidded for to clean this building. In the bid of the building, they didn't want him to be the one cleaning it. So they were trying to set him up and get him fired and possibly jail time or prison because they would say that he was stealing. I thought, wow. And I said, how did y'all work around that? He said, We always would keep account. We would always put the jar on the desk. And I said, so unfortunate that y'all didn't have cell phones that y'all could have taken a picture saying, this is the date stamp, this is the jar, or whatever. And when I said that, I responded by saying, to some degree, we still deal with that. And I said, how do we advocate around that? How do we advocate around that? So then I told my dad a story. I said, well, just this past weekend, I was at the Columbus Public Library downtown, the main branch. And I said, there's homeless people that are out. There are people out there begging. There's people out there hurting, crying. It's really close to some of the homeless shelters and so forth. I said, I remember going into the public library. And as I was going in there was a young man there trying to work on his resume. And he shared with them that he was homeless and he was trying to find out why he owed over $300 in fees for books that he had returned. And I remember standing back there, you all, and I was watching this play out as I was waiting to get to the room that we were doing the voting educational workshop. And as I'm standing back there, there are two white women addressing a Black young man who was very articulate, very articulate. And he said, I'm trying to understand. He says, I returned all the books. They were all in great condition. They said, yes, they were, but you still had fees. And fees ended up being $300 some. And I'm just watching this play out. And he says, well, will I be able to use the computer? I need to update the resume. And the young lady said, well, you did your resume yesterday. He said, I know, but after talking with my social worker, they wanted me to add the places where I did busting of tables and washing of dishes in two different restaurants that I forgot to include. And they said, we'll let you do that, but it's going to cost you 50 cents. And he said, you didn't have 50 cents. So I said, no problem. I got his 50 cents. So the lady looked at me and she said, oh, you don't have to. I said, well, yes, I do, because y'all aren't going to give it to him. And he's trying to get this done. So he needed to also check out a book. And they just kept pressuring him or making him jump through hoops. So when I got to the room that I was going to, I happened to be talking to, I guess, the librarian or the manager or whatnot. So I'm explaining this. And I said, there's something wrong with this whole breakup. I said, we still in the pandemic. I said, did anybody ask the questions, so forth and so on? So she said, well, I'll take care of it. Well, come to find out, she took everything off except for $10.03 or something that he had to pay. Well, he didn't have that. And so he could not use his, I believe it's called a welfare card or social security card, whatever. He could not use that. So people in the room, like, we got his $10.03. Like, we're going to make sure he gets whatever he needs. And he was very appreciative. And so when he came into the room, because he ended up coming into the room for the workshop, he said, I don't get it. He said, I've done everything that they've asked me to do, and there's still another hoop I have to jump. Now, I know it's a different story than the story my father shared with me, but there is, to me, some sort of connection. We're still jumping through hoops, trying to prove that we are good people, trying to prove that we're out here to do the right things. But at the same time, we need advocates. So I looked around the downtown library, and Latrice Jones, if you're still on here, I think you can appreciate this. And I said, well, who's going to school to become librarians that look like me? What are the volunteer positions that we can put out here that Black and brown people will take hold of and go and serve at that front desk, go and service when people are coming in or checking out books or whatever that is? What do we need to do as advocates? How do we go with someone who's actually looking to better their lives? How can we go with them to make sure they're not being taken advantage of? So this whole inspirational message for me is advocate today is to say, how do we advocate on behalf of others? Still using wisdom, still being polite, professional, whatever, not being labeled the angry Black woman, to make sure that people are not being taken advantage of. I also thought about, where were the men in the library? Where were the men, Black and brown men, in those positions as well? I went to all the floors because I was on this mission to find out. I did not see one. I did not see one. And I thought, okay, we pushed being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a firefighter, being this, that, or the other. Well, is it time for us to push becoming a librarian? Even with the diverse books and the books being purged from bookshelves and bookstores now everywhere, how do we step in and say, no, that's not okay? And how do we advocate for that? So, y'all, my assignment today is for us to be still over the weekend and ask ourselves, how do I shift my advocacy to make sure I'm reaching the community that actually needs what I have to offer? What does that look like? How many more volunteer hours do I have? Is it to be with Boy Scout of America or Girl Scout of America or male mentoring programs or female mentoring programs or whatever? I think at some point we have to get beyond sports. Sports are great. But what else is out there and available that we need to get into the trenches with to do better, if I can use that word, better community service? So it's a different form of the inspirational message today, but I thought it was so important to share that, especially once we started this media and publishing segment that we're going to give probably every Thursday, because we want to equip you. I'm curious to know, Wednesday was the deadline to submit your applications for the White House to volunteer for the holiday season. Did any of you, I do know one person who did submit an application, but did any of you do that? Because again, these are opportunities to be seen. We have to stop shying away or thinking that we're not good enough or we don't qualify. We need to submit them anyway. Submit the applications, y'all. There's money on the table. And as long as I have this platform, I'm going to keep sharing it so that all of us can start participating. You may not win all of them, but you may win a few of them. So why not try it and see? So some of you are saying, Donita's saying, well, now Kim Edmondson says, still have to prove ourselves. Lori says, that is a great point. Unfortunately, if there was a man, they may have said he was threatening to them. And that becomes another challenge. Deborah says, I grew up in the library. It was my safe place. I will look into it. Shirley says, don't see that changing anytime soon. Latrice Jones says, woo, child, this inspirational message is about to take me all the way out. Kim Edmondson says, I would love to work at the library. Books are life. So y'all, there could be opportunities out there for you. Check them out. And then if I can add to that, the schools. Don't forget the schools. Don't forget the schools in the inner city community. Another announcement that I have, and then we'll sign off for the weekend. Another announcement that I have, there's still a dire need throughout the United States for poll workers for the November the 8th election. Already there's announcements that they may be beginning to close some polling locations. And then I did some zip code search just to see, and they are, y'all, what is considered the poor communities. We cannot let that happen. We can't let that happen. And it's all across the United States. Poll workers are needed by the thousands in Georgia. Poll workers are needed in Virginia. These are like the heavy areas. Poll workers are needed in Dallas, Plano area. North, and I see North Dallas. I don't know what area that is, but North Dallas. So if you're in that area, check that out. If you can give up that day to do so. Poll workers are needed in Cleveland, Ohio, and in Youngstown and Akron. So if you're in Ohio, Cleveland, Youngstown, and Akron, they are in need of poll workers. Poll workers are needed in Kentucky. Poll workers in Louisville, Kentucky, to be specific. Poll workers are needed in Utah. Poll workers are needed in LA County. Poll workers are needed in inner city Baltimore. I don't have the zip codes, but inner city Baltimore poll workers are needed there. Let me see if there's any more that jump out. Poll workers are needed in Kansas City, Kansas. They're short right now, 1,100 poll workers. Let me see if there's any more that jump out that are, I'm looking for those that are in 1,000 or more. I think that's it. Oh, New Mexico. Poll workers are needed in New Mexico. And poll workers are needed in Nevada. So if you are in any of those areas or know anyone who works in those areas, please let them know they're needed to be poll workers. I'm going to make an assumption that corporations are starting to come out saying they're going to let their workers off to be able to serve as poll workers. And as we get that list in, we'll be sharing that as well. But y'all, those areas are needed. All right, y'all, that's all I have for today. This week has been a great week right here on NewsInMotion. Again, welcome to all of our Twitter followers. Misha let us know that the reason we're not seeing the chats, more than likely because they're doing it the stream through Periscope. But we also understand that Periscope is ending at the end of this month. So we should start seeing their chats over here. So if you're tuning in from Twitter, that's why we're not seeing the chat. I guess your feed is going through Periscope. So hopefully that'll all work itself out when it comes to November 1st. All right, y'all know what I say. Stay well and remember, everyone, make some bold moves. I'm out.